Welcome one and all to another episode of Backpass with Ras, and I'm your host, Ras. So I hope wherever you are listening into this, I hope you are all well and in good spirits. And if you're not, I hope this episode would cheer you up, and wishing you a speedy recovery if you're not well wherever you are. So take care, guys, of your health in this current climate. So this show, if you're not familiar, what is it all about? It's a show where we reminisce on football from the past, from the 90s and the noughties. We're going to look back at episode 2. So in episode 2, we were focusing on Arsene Wenger's glorious Arsenal. And I asked a question to my guests last week on, was it Arsenal's first double, 1997-98? And nobody got an answer for that. So I have the answer. It's not. The first double Arsenal won was in 1970-71. So that was episode 2. And if you want to listen back on episode 2, episode 1, you can find the links on our Facebook page and Twitter page. Feel free to scroll back and look through. So now, in this week's episode, our focus will be on the blue half of the Italian capital, Rome. We're looking at SS Lazio, focusing a bit on the early 90s period of Lazio, mainly on the 99-2000 period where Lazio ruled Italy. And then thereafter, my guest for today's show will be speaking about the book that he wrote on his travels to the capital of Italy, Rome, and in his time as a Lazio fan. So it's really an intriguing episode this week. And introducing my guest this week, whenever I think of Lazio, I always think of this guy, Mr. Nigel Gan. I think for me, Mr. Lazio in Singapore, Malaysia at least, he will have to be Mr. Lazio, the biggest Lazio fan that I know of. So Nigel, thank you very much for joining us on the show today.
You're most welcome. Hello. Hi, everyone.
How are you doing,
by the way, it's Singapore, Malaysia, and Batam.
All right, Batam as well. So the biggest fan in Batam as well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
Fine, I'm well. I've read your book. We'll speak about it later.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Well done. Anyways, off the cuff, I will tell you. Well done on the book. I think it was very intriguing, very engrossing as well.
Thank you.
Nigel, let's just start on your journey with Lazio. Why Lazio?
Well, I started supporting Lazio when I was a kid, like in secondary 2. I was like 14 years old. It was school holidays, I remember. Back then, I was watching television. And there was a football match on television. Unlike, EPL, the usual ones, which is dominating Singapore back then. In school, everybody is just talking about EPL. So it was intriguing because it was a match of Italian football. It was a team in sky blue against a team in black and blue.
Yeah.
Which is Lazio against Inter Milan. I didn't know the team back then. So I was bored, so I carried on watching. And then there was this player. His name was Giuseppe Pepe Signori. Wearing the number 11. There was no name printed on the back of the jersey back then in the 90s. So he received the ball in the midfield area. And then he started dribbling past 2 to 3 Inter defenders. And then he was nimble. He was fast. He was really, really, really speedy. And then he buried the ball into the bottom corner of the net. It was amazing goal. Then I was like totally mesmerized. So I decided to find out more about that player and the team. Which happened to be SS Lazio. And that's how my lifelong passion started.
All right. Nice journey. I remember that match. I remember him going past the players, and because, I think I'm an Inter fan. So, I remember that goal. That was a beautiful goal, brilliant goal. I got to take my hats off on that. Fantastic player as well. We'll speak more about Lazio and Signori, in fact. And this brings us nicely into segment 1, where we'll be speaking about your time in this early period between 1993 to 1997. During this period, Nigel, what were the biggest achievements of Lazio?
I think, to be very honest, this period, there were no major achievements, except that we won the derby against Roma 3-0, and then qualifying for the UEFA Cup for the first time in many, many years. It was Signori's first season, actually, with Gascoigne, with Winter, and those players. So I would say these are the achievements. You see, Sergio Cragnotti, the president back then, he just taken over Lazio like in 1992 or 1993. So he wanted to build a winning team, a team that is capable to win the league. So I would say the first 5 years was foundation building.
And I think in terms of management as well, there was stark contrast. You had Dino Zoff, and then you had Zdeněk Zeman. So for those who do not know, Dino Zoff, obviously, people, I think, might remember from Italy's run in Euro 2000, known to be a pragmatic coach. And then Zeman is all-out attack. He's like crazy, no defense for him. It's all-way attack. So it's contrasting styles in those years, right?
That's correct. Zoff, I think he's a Catenaccio guy.
Yeah.
He's a very defensive coach. But there were some funny stories about Zoff and Gascoigne. Maybe we can talk about it later.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
Right. And then Zeman, he's basically the first coach in Italy that introduced attacking play, and that is just all out attack. We were winning games under his coach, under his guidance. We were winning like 7-1 against Foggia, 8-2 against Fiorentina. It was something that I've never seen before. It was really incredible.
Yeah, with Zeman is always going to be high scoring. You got to win 4-3, 3-2, those kind of games.
Yeah, but his defense also got problem.
That's the drawback of his tactics.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so now speaking about your favorite player of all time, Giuseppe Signori, I think he has to be the emblem of that Lazio team, those teams in that period. Giuseppe Signori. So describe the player that Giuseppe Signori was in that period.
I think, like I said, he was very fast, he was nimble, and he was a set piece specialist. He takes all the free kicks and corner kicks and even penalties. He's the way he takes his penalty is very unique.
Yeah.
I've never seen any players these days who take the penalty like him.
Yeah.
I mean, the one that I could remember was Luigi Di Biagio.
Yes.
And Dimitri Albertini.
Yeah.
These two players, they basically took the penalties at the same style as Signori. Other than this, I don't see any players penalty like him. Just one step.
Yeah.
Just blast the ball. You need to have very powerful legs, basically.
Yeah. Correct. True. That penalty style, I think that stands out. It's extinct nowadays. You don't see it anymore.
Yeah.
But that penalty style was unique. And I remember in episode 1, we spoke about Italian playmakers because we were looking through playmakers all over the world. And obviously, big countries, we spoke about them. Italy, we spoke about. And Giuseppe Signori was one of the players we spoke about. The player, playmaker. He wasn't wearing number 10, but he was the playmaker. He did everything. He was taking corners. He was taking free kicks. He was taking penalties. He was creating play. He was scoring goals. And I think one thing that stood out about Signori in those times was that he was actually top scorer for a number of seasons, right? Which is quite rare for a playmaker.
He was actually a forward. He started playing on the wings in Foggia. And then when he came to Lazio, right? He played in the middle. Even for the Azzurri, for Italy, he was playing wing.
Yeah.
On the left wing. He was top scorer 3 times.
3 times,
in Italian league, and it's not easy back then in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
In the 90s, it's not
the best
easy
players
to,
there.
Yes,
correct.
It's not easy to score goals. Trust me, you have Viekovic, you have Ferrara, you have Jürgen Kohler, all the crazy defenders.
Yeah, all great. Baresi, Maldini, Bergomi, all
very
fantastic players.
Very defensive, yes.
And very defensive setups in those teams in those years as well.
Yeah. Was like a chess game,
Yeah,
was
correct.
Like a chess game. Yeah.
It wasn't easy, and he did well for Lazio team. I mean, in those years, Lazio, as you said, not champions. They finished second in one of those seasons.
Yes, correct.
Right. So for a team like that, for a player like Signori to finish top scorer, I think is very commendable.
That's true. I agree.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, from Signori, we go on to other players from that era, and we'll start with a big name, Mr. Paul Gascoigne, because you see, Gascoigne is a trendsetter. He opened the doors for the UK market to Italian football, because when he moved to Italy, I think a lot of people in the UK started watching Italian football, started maybe following Lazio to see how he played and how he did there. And that opened doors to the other Italian clubs and players that were playing in that league. And of course, in Singapore and Malaysia, English football is king. Yeah. His arrival in Lazio as well opened doors for people who normally follow English football to watch Italian football here. But he had a bit of an injury-ridden spell in Lazio, right?
Yes, and I absolutely agree with you. It's because of Paul Gascoigne that we are watching Italian football right now. Yeah, because of the British influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Singapore, in Malaysia, and in Asia, so that's why we have to thank Gascoigne joining
Gascoigne.
Lazio.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of stories, so feel free to share stories of Gascoigne. I think we got more stories of him off the pitch than on the pitch.
I think about Gascoigne, he is pure talent. He
Yeah,
is
he is.
lion-hearted. He is a very passionate man, but I'm very sorry about how he ended his career and his status right now. I think he just recovered from some alcohol problem.
Yeah.
But as a player, I think I loved him. I loved him. I absolutely adore him. All the Lazio fans loved him during his time with Lazio. Apart from the equalizer he scored in the Rome derby, I think he's basically a joker. With Dino Zoff, right? I heard from a friend. It's a true story. They were playing away, so they were all in a team hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly, I think the hotel staff came down and complained to Dino Zoff at the lobby. So, your player is making a lot of noise, And Zoff caught up. Caught Gascoigne in the room and said, "What happened? You come down now." And then Gascoigne was saying, "No, mister, I cannot come down." And then Dino said, "I don't give a you come down now." So Gascoigne came down to the lobby, totally naked.
Oh.
He is mad, I tell you, he is mad. Another story about Gascoigne, Signori himself told me, because I met him for dinner once. Signori, it was a dream come true. So Signori was telling me, after training, in Formello, after training, if you go to your car and your car handles were wet, it's probably he's pissed. He's that crazy. He is that crazy.
Quite fascinating stories there. Interesting. Also on Gascoigne, I remember he did score a solo goal as well, right? I think it was against Pisa or some...
Against Pescara.
Pescara.
Yes.
He did score a
amazing
solo goal.
Yeah. Amazing goal. Really amazing goal. You have to YouTube it, or the listeners should YouTube that goal. It's incredible.
Yeah, I think I'll YouTube it and I'll share it on our pages for everyone's viewing pleasure.
We should.
I think I'll do that for Signori's goal as well. Maybe people might not remember, so I think they need to remember these goals. Fantastic goals, yeah. Gascoigne, unfortunately, injured a lot.
Yep.
So didn't get to see the best of Gascoigne in Lazio.
It was actually Alessandro Nesta who caused one of his major injuries. It was during a training. And then Nesta was marking him, that kind of thing. So Gascoigne went for a challenge. Okay, I think it was a 50-50 ball. And then somehow Nesta's boot stud basically went into his knee. And there was a hole on his knee. Yes. So, yeah. So Nesta, I think he was very young. I think he was in the Primavera team or something, So, yeah. I read that in Gatza's autobiography. You should buy it as well. It's funny.
I would expect it should be colorful.
Yeah, it's damn funny.
Okay, moving on from Gascoigne, other players in that era, I think I want to point this one out. Pierluigi Casiraghi. He had a fantastic partnership with Signori.
Yes.
It's a pity that Italy couldn't make the best out of this partnership. But what a partner he was for Signori. He scored a lot of goals as well, right?
Yeah, a lot of goals. Casiraghi, I think my most vivid memories of him was the volley against Roma in the derby. It was quite an incredible, impossible angle. And he managed to time his volley to perfection, and it went into the near post. Went in through the near post. Oh my God, you should YouTube that as well. Crazy goal. Casiraghi, Signori actually told me that his favorite striking partner is Pierluigi Casiraghi.
Yeah, you can see, you can see the tandem they have when they're on the pitch.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
So you can see that. Luca Marchegiani in goal.
I think very trustworthy guy. Very trustworthy. Very steady, very trustworthy. I don't have any bad impression of him, actually. He saved a penalty in the derby against...
Always a good impression, that one.
Yes, correct. Against Giannini. Giannini was the untouchable in Roma back then. He was the prince in the Roma team, and then he saving a penalty in the derby is immediate cult status, cult hero status. Yeah, Marchegiani. Okay. But these days, I think the Lazio fans don't really like him because he's working as a pundit. He's always speaking ill of Lazio. That's the problem. Maybe he's being very objective, but I'm not so sure.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I understand that sometimes players become pundits. They They tend to be objective sometimes. Maybe there
correct.
could be some bad blood during his departure from the club. You never know all
Correct.
these underlying
Even
factors.
Di Canio, maybe he doesn't want others to see him like, I'm favoring Lazio only. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, possible. Okay,
yeah,
Alan Boxic, brilliant player.
Boxic. He came from Marseille, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
Alan Boxic. We call him the Alien, his nickname. Yeah,
why?
I think because of his height and also he looks very
He's got a very Eastern
serious.
European face, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So, but he
And for a
was,
big guy, he's got very good touches on the ball.
yeah, it's true.
Very
And
nifty and
his finishing, he
yeah,
could finish off with his head, he could finish off with his legs. He's quite a complete player, Alan Boxic. Alan Boxic. What's my favorite memory of him? I think also in the derby, he's got a few goals. He's got a few goals, yes.
Any other players you want to point out from that era?
That era, we had Winter,
Yeah, Aaron
Winter.
Yeah,
Also, I would say he's the water
defensive
carrier.
defensive midfielder. Yeah,
Correct. And then he did all the dirty jobs basically
yeah, correct.
And then he went on to play for Inter
Yes,
and won the UEFA Cup
yes.
for Inter against Lazio.
Against Lazio, yeah, at your
Yeah,
expense.
correct. And for info, he is Jewish, and we will talk more about that later.
Okay,
Yes.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Roberto Di Matteo.
Di Matteo, he was very young, I think, when he left Lazio. He joined Lazio as a kid, and then he also left Lazio relatively young.
He's Lazio through and through, right? From the
Correct.
youth team.
Correct. Another funny story about Di Matteo, I think in the dressing room, Gatza, Paul Gascoigne, I think he put a dead snake in his pants. So when Di Matteo found out, he was whoa, crazy. But he's actually quite good. He joined the first team from the Primavera, and immediately I think he was providing a lot of assists.
Yeah,
scoring a few goals for Lazio. I liked him, Di Matteo.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I remember, those days, there weren't like specialist midfielders. You didn't have defensive midfielders and you're the attacking midfielders. So I think Di Matteo, filled that role of box-to-box midfielder.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I remember him playing for Italy and I think he was a good player. He went
Yeah.
relatively young to the English Premier League. It wasn't. It was quite rare in those days for players to go to the English League.
I remember his goal.
Career.
I remember his goal with for Chelsea in the final. I think the FA Cup
against Middlesbrough. Yeah,
it was incredible goal.
It was incredible goal.
Correct.
Yeah. Any other players you want to point out? Diego
Fuze actually played for Lazio and then subsequently with Roma. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
For me, I think he's like
that's a no.
Yeah, like Judas.
Like Kolarov as well.
Another Judas.
Yeah. So okay, I understand. That's a no. All right. One final call. Any other players you got?
Back then, yeah. Let me think.
Any favorites you got? Favorites.
Favorites.
Yeah.
My favorites were, I think, Signori and Casiraghi back then. Yes.
All right. So with that, we end segment 1. And in segment 2, we'll be looking at Lazio 1999-2000, the glorious Lazio year, glorious Lazio season, in fact. More than just a year. It was fantastic. So coming up, segment 2. Okay, Nigel, you ready for segment 2?
I'm ready.
Some fond memories for you, I believe.
Pretty good.
Yeah, so leading up to this season, 1999-2000, Lazio actually winning some trophies here. 1997-98, they won the Coppa Italia. 98-99, Super Coppa Italiana. And they won the last ever Cup Winners' Cup final in 99. And in that same year, they won the European Super Cup against Manchester United. So in this regard, do you feel that they were already building to win something major like the league?
To be very honest, no. I didn't expect us to win the league. Like you said, we were winning trophies in Europe, domestically as well. But I feel that we lacked the finishing touch to win the the league.
Okay.
Just one season before, I think we lost to Milan by a single point as well. AC Milan.
98, 99.
Correct.
Right?
So that this season, the 1999-2000 season, I was a bit skeptical. Because we tend to start off well and then we drop, you see. Even though we were winning a lot, we had a great team. I didn't expect us to win. Yes. Leading up to, but of course we won it in the last day. I mean, Juventus, the last game of the season, Juventus were playing Perugia away.
Yeah.
We were playing Regina. Yeah, we won Regina 3-0. Of course, it was an easy opponent. But the fact is, how could Juventus lose to Perugia?
Marco Materazzi.
Yes, or Nakata, But how could, Juve just needed a point to win the title. And then I think heaven intervened. God intervened,
Literally, yes. The heavens opened up and then the game got postponed, delayed.
Yeah, for a couple of 1 to 2 hours.
Yeah, and then everyone's just waiting, hanging around.
The referee back then was Pierluigi Collina. So I think the rules back then was, okay, he's going to walk around the pitch with both captains. So if you throw the ball and the ball bounces at any one spot, okay, they will carry on, they continue the game. And that happened actually. And then, it's not easy. I think given any other referees, they would cancel the match really. But Collina had the balls to do it.
Yeah, correct.
Yes, correct.
Probably the right referee. I mean, in Italian football, there's always this conspiracy theory around Juventus and referees. So, in a way, probably lucky that we had a referee like Collina that was officiating that game. No nonsense, professional referee, and he made sure the game went on.
I think these are not conspiracy theory. These are actually true. Some cases are really true. Like, Roma president giving Rolex watches as Christmas gift to the referees. Yeah, these things are happening.
Yeah. We know. I mean, the thing is, you see, these kind of things, why I say conspiracy theories is because some of it is unproven. We kind of know because there's no smoke without fire, but we can't really say unless there's definite proof. But yeah, so that's a topic for another day anyways. Okay, on Lazio's domination that season, what would you put it down to? Is it the players, the managers, the style of play? What would you put it down to?
The team. Like what Fergie said, that Lazio team back then was the best team in the world. That's what Ferguson said. And it's true, and I agree. That team was made to win. It was made to win. And it's not the coach, definitely, not Eriksson. I actually feel that Eriksson is a mediocre coach. Forgive me. Because with that team, we should have won the Champions League, to be honest. We should have won the Champions League. I mean, the team, you look at the team, from defense, we had Nesta, we have Favali, we have Negro, we have Mihailovic. Yeah, scoring free kicks for fun. Yeah. Scoring 3 goals from free kick in a single game. Yeah, and then in midfield, on the left, we have Nedved. On the right, we have Sergio Conceição.
And then Conceição.
Defensive midfielder, we have Sensini as backup, and then we have Almeida. And then we have Lombardo as backup as well. Attila Lombardo, if you remember him, the ball eater.
Yeah. And then you got Simeone as well.
Correct, Diego Simeone. And then we have Veron, we have Mancini, we have Salas on front, Inzaghi, Boksic as well, Ravanelli. Oh my God, I tell you. The bench itself...
I think Boksic had already left for Juventus that season.
He has left, yeah. Correct, yes. And then, what I'm trying to say is the bench itself is capable of winning any games. It's incredible.
That team had also manly men that were guiding that team through the steel of that team. People like this Almeida, Simeone.
Yeah.
Strong characters as well in that team.
True.
So you needed that to win. Nesta, even though he was young, he's a leader.
I think Totti once said to win the Scudetto, you need at least 6 world-class players in the team. Totti, and I agree with him. For once, yeah, I was about to say that. I remember that Lazio team in those years, because Inter were built to challenge for the Scudetto as well. We had Lippi, and then we had signed Christian Vieri from Lazio. And we had, of course, our own plethora of star players, Vieri, Baggio, Ronaldo, all these great stars we had. And then
we had Lippi as manager, and then everything just fizzled out. And I think we went head to head with Lazio in the Coppa Italia final. I was a little bit upset with the way Lippi just like gave up the league title along the way. So I felt like if he had really believed in it, I think he would have gone through. But Lazio were the team that had a steel in them to last the distance, make it count. And you mentioned at the start that you felt skeptical because Lazio always were falling at the last step.
Yep.
They're just not making that mark to becoming a champion.
Correct.
But this time they had that last step to make it as the champion.
Yeah. So,
and the style of play was different as well, right? In the Lazio team compared to the other teams in Italy.
I think we were more balanced in a way that we do squad rotation. We do squad rotation. I think that's very important. And then, like I said, the bench was very strong, so we could still maintain the high level of play. You see. So,
but the squad that was built, would you give credit to Eriksson for the choices he made in players that he signed, or would it be Cragnotti?
I would say yes. I give credit to Eriksson because he brought in a lot of ex-Sampdoria players like Mancini, like Veron, like Sensini. These players were fundamental in Parma, in Parma with him, in Sampdoria with him. So he knew the players beforehand. So I think
they had Peruzzi
are
as well.
Major contributions.
Peruzzi
as well,
in goal.
yes.
Yeah, that's another. He's a winner.
But Peruzzi joined after.
Was it?
I think we joined after, Peruzzi. Marchegiani was in goal. Oh, no. Peruzzi joined the same season. I think in the same season as well. Correct. Yes.
So, I remember Peruzzi was in that season. No, sorry. You're right. He joined after because Peruzzi was at Inter.
I'm confused. Yes.
Yeah, Peruzzi was at Inter in that season. Correct. You're right. Yeah, but he had built the team with winners in there.
That's true, yes. So I think, especially, considering how tough a Serie A was back then, you need a lot of these kind of world-class players to win it.
Correct, true. Yeah. And we mentioned earlier about the long wait before the Scudetto was finally decided and that Lazio were finally the champions. What were your emotions in that time, while you're waiting for that confirmation, while the Juventus game was going on?
I was quite young. I was in national service and it was my first 5 months. I was in camp.
Oh, poor thing.
I was in camp. Yeah, and back then there was no such thing as smartphones.
Yeah.
Or teletext. You couldn't watch it in camp, you see. So the only way is to wait until like it's time. So I asked permission from my platoon sergeant to go down to make a call. To my friend to check the result. And then of course when my friend told me that we won, oh my god, I tell you, I almost wet myself.
Were you screaming around in the barracks?
I try not to.
If not, you got to have some extra.
Correct.
Extra morning runs, I guess.
Yeah, correct. It's like, and I couldn't really celebrate. That's the problem, is it? But I was like so happy.
You're so happy inside. So everything happy. Bottled up.
Totti said something. He said winning one Scudetto in the capital is like 10 Scudetti, which I also wholeheartedly agree with him. Yeah, it's that difficult to win. You see. It's that difficult to win a title.
It is true. And as you said, especially in those days, it was much tougher to win. Yeah. So it means a lot to have won that season.
Yeah. And you notice like these days, I think there are a lot of goals scored in modern football.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, too many goals. Last time in Italian football, a typical match, I think you had like 2-3 chances, maximum 3 chances. Yeah.
True. And the standard of defending has gone down as well in modern football. But again, that's another topic for another day. Yes, on that Lazio team, I think, how do you feel? Okay, Lazio winning the double, right? Coppa Italia as well, and Scudetto. Fantastic feeling for you, I'm sure.
Of course, yes.
Were you on top of the world? I'm sure you would be on top of the world.
Yeah, I was.
But was it tinged with a bit of sadness that Signori was not part of that team?
Yes, correct. Signori had already left us. He joined Sampdoria on loan and then subsequently to Bologna. I was actually very happy for Signori because he achieved cult hero status in Bologna. and eventually ended with 188 league goals, career league goals. I think is quite an achievement for him. I'm happy for him. But also at the same time, I'm very disappointed and very sad that he couldn't be in the team, the Lazio Scudetto winning team. He told me about it himself. He was very upset as well. But this is life.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, because I read. I heard an interview with Ericsson, and he mentioned that he didn't want Signori in the team. So I'm sure that would have upset you.
Yes. I bought Ericsson book and I read a lot of this kind of thing. Ericsson hated Signori to the core of his bones. He feels that Signori is disrupting the team morale. So he was determined to get rid of him. So when I met Signori in his restaurant in Bologna, Signori told me, I don't want to talk about him. He simply said that, I think a lot of things happened between a lot of bad blood. But you have to understand that Signori was untouchable. No fans could get close to Signori back then. He was that famous, and maybe there was a kind of ego.
Maybe, yeah.
Just like Signori, remember in 1994 World Cup in the USA,
and Arrigo Sacchi, yeah.
Yes, Arrigo Sacchi wanted him to play on the wings, but he said, no, I want to play in the middle. If you're not going to play me in the middle, I'm not going to play. And Signori also admitted to me that it was his biggest regrets. Because World Cup final.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, Baggio was playing with one leg in that final. He was already hamstrung, so pity. If we had Signori at full flow, who knows what we might have achieved.
If he have taken one of the penalties, maybe there's a chance. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we had missed 3-2 actually before that.
Yeah. Massaro and Baresi.
Baresi, yeah. All the ifs and buts.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Oh, well. Okay. Moving on. I think that's all for that segment. I think you have anything else you want to add about that era?
I think I'm good.
Okay. Thank you. So we're going on now. Segment 3 is all about your book now. 10,000 kilometer to you. Did I get that right? 10,000 kilometer for you.
Yes.
And you've written 2 books. So segment 3 is on this book called 10,000 kilometers for you. Coming up soon.
Lo Scudetto, il secondo nella storia della Lazio, olimpico, trasformato in una piazza completamente biancoceleste. Entusiasmo alle stelle 26 anni dopo lo Scudetto di Maestrelli. Questa Lazio è campione d'Italia 99-2000.
Welcome to segment 3 now, and we're going to talk about the book that my guest today, Mr. Nigel Gan, has written, 10,000 kilometer for you. And it's a 2-part series, in fact, the book. He released the first one. When was the first one released?
Back in 2011.
2011. Yeah, I remember buying it from you. It was a good book. And I remember in that book, you spoke about visiting Lazio's training ground, Formello.
Yes.
Your first Rome derby, was it?
Yes, it was my first Rome derby. And I remember you read my first book in the bus on the way to KL.
Yeah, correct.
Yes,
in the bus, in my journeys, going to the gym, wherever I was going.
That's good.
On
that's
the
good,
plane,
that's
actually, going to KL.
Oh, okay.
Is that book still available?
Yes, it is. It is still available. It's basically on gumroad.com. So you can just go on the website and you type 10,000 kilometers for you, it would appear.
Part 1 is available online. Okay.
Yes, correct.
What else was it about? Could you just share with us?
Well, basically, it gives you an insight of the Rome derby. What is it actually like? Why so many people are crazy about the Rome derby, and why is it really that dangerous? Is it safe to go there on my own? So, and it also basically tells you on the history of the rivalry between Lazio and Roma, how it kick-started. Lazio was formed in 1900, okay? And then subsequently Roma was founded in 1927, okay? Because Benito Mussolini, the fascist leader back then, he wanted to create a strong capital team to challenge all the northern teams. So he merged a few teams in the capital to form AS Roma. And of course, one of the generals, the founders of Roma, approached the president back then of Lazio, asking them to join AS Roma. And of course, he rejected, and that's how the rivalry started.
Yes. All right, okay. So
one
that's
of the fiercest rivalry, I would say, in the world.
Undoubtedly, yeah. From
Yeah.
reading your book, I understand that. It's different. There's derby between Lazio and Roma
Yeah.
is different. Because I support Inter. The derby between Inter and Milan is not that intense. It's always known as
Yes.
two cousins and meeting each other.
Correct.
Fans of both clubs can go to the stadium together and come back together and not get into any trouble, right?
Yeah.
And even in the English league, if my other favorite club, Manchester United and Manchester City, there isn't that kind of a derby rivalry like it is in Rome. So
Yeah.
it is, I think, in my opinion, the fiercest, one of the fiercest acting derbies in the world. Probably the Glasgow derby could come close.
Yeah, that was number one. Actually, Glasgow derby is actually the most intense derby, I would say, or rivalry in the world for me, because two different religions. Yes, that is unchallenged lah.
So yes, that you've already shared with us what you wrote about in the first book. So what was written in the second book? I understand from the second book that you didn't want to write a second book, but you had a lot of messages from people who read the first book and encouraged you to write and gave you great spirit to write the second book. And thank you for writing. I think it was very insightful and engrossing as well. So tell us about your second book. What is it all about?
Okay, so basically, book 2 is a continuation of book 1. One of the many trips I mentioned in the book was to Bandung, Indonesia. Where I watched the Rome derby with the Indonesian Lazio fans. I've always liked. It's always a pleasure to go there because they are very receptive people, very sincere, very genuine people. The Indonesians, and they are also very
passionate,
very hardcore. Yes, so I enjoy it because I get a taste of the Rome derby. In nearby Indonesia. So yeah, I go there quite often.
I mean, those of us who support Serie A, we know that Indonesia is the place to be because that's where it's the heaven for Serie A football. That's where the most passionate fans are in this region.
Correct. And back then, when I was a kid, when I was in my teens, right, I couldn't watch the match. I would always use the antenna TV. I watch the RCTI or the channels,
SCTV.
right?
RCTI or SCTV.
Yeah. So
that was our source of football and we didn't even know what game would be on live at that time.
Correct.
We just tried our luck and see, hopefully my team's playing, and then see, okay, not my team today.
Then in order to know the result, you have to carry on watching after the match, and you listen to them saying 1-0, 2-2.
Yeah. Or if you don't, then we've always got teletext the next morning.
Wake up at 6 a.m.
Yeah. I mean, anyways, you got to wake up for school. So
correct, yes.
Yeah. So, sorry to cut you off there.
What memories?
Yeah. Fond memories, obviously, yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Sorry to cut you off. So, you spoke about meeting the fans in Bandung.
Yep.
Nearly getting to fights.
Yes, nearly getting to fights, and because they did something which is, I feel that it's not right, which is very bad. So I just lost control. But then again, I managed to stop myself, and there was also I also went to Rome for a derby, and then subsequently I went to Thailand for the cup final against Roma. The historic cup final when we met actually for the first time, Lazio and Roma. So basically I watched 3 derbies in 3 different cities. And in the book, I basically share all my adventures. Yes.
And you met your favorite player, Giuseppe Signori.
Oh, yes, correct.
How could you forget that?
Thanks for reminding. So, yeah.
You're such a lucky person. When I read that, I was feeling so jealous. I wish I could have a meeting with Roberto Baggio.
Yeah, and I want to help you, I was thinking about it the other day. We need to do something. So maybe you can write to him or something. Like what I did, I wrote to Signori's Facebook page, and somehow
the thing with Baggio is he's a very private person. He doesn't have any presence on social media. So on Instagram, I've actually followed his wife and his kids. So that's where you get glimpses of what he's doing. But otherwise he's very private. So that option I don't think is really available. There are fan pages created by fans.
I think you could write. You could write to his missus, or you could write to the kids. Maybe there is a chance, write something touching or what, you really want to meet him in person, which is true, So yeah, we can do something. Let's do this.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. That'll be exciting. We could make
So
this podcast show there.
yes. And then about my meeting with Signori was really a unbelievable thing, because originally I thought maybe I'll just meet him, get his autograph, take a photo, give him a hug, and goodbye. But he said, no, stay for dinner. I was like, what the you asking me to stay for dinner, Signori? Really, really over the moon, really. So we were talking about everything, everything. We were talking about politics. We were talking about football. We were talking about Lionel Messi, talking about his favorite wine. Until we were there until like 1 to 2 a.m. in the morning, drinking, unimaginable drinking.
He was there was he with his family?
With his girlfriend. And I went over with a few friends.
Okay.
So he was very magnanimous. He said, "No, all stay for dinner," that kind of thing.
All right.
So can you imagine sitting down having dinner and talking with the idol?
Yeah.
It's like unbelievable, really.
It is. And any let's just say, any accounts or events that he shared with you that you didn't mention in the book?
He said he's the toughest defender he has faced. The toughest defender was Franco Baresi and Paulo Monteiro.
Yeah, I remember reading that.
Yeah, he said Baresi is a very, very intelligent player. He doesn't shove you, he doesn't punch you, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
to react. He doesn't do that to make you react. He goes near you, he tries to bend your little finger like this. So can you really complain to the referee?
No.
No, yes. So he uses this really, really well, Baresi.
Yeah. You're a good reader of the game, I guess.
Yeah, fantastic.
Did he share anything about his time with the Italian national team? Not many appearances, unfortunately.
He didn't want to talk about it. He said his greatest regret was not playing the final. Yeah, so very sad about that as well.
But I'm sure he had a good relationship with the players in the team. Maybe not with the coach, but with his teammates, I guess he had a good relationship. He doesn't strike me as an arrogant person.
No, he's not. I mean, he's very humble and very funny,
Yeah.
Yeah. In the Azzurri, I think his best friend was Baggio.
Okay.
Baggio encouraged him to join Bologna.
Because Baggio was there as well, right? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. With his teammates, he was a leader, in Lazio. He was a leader. So just very pity that he left Lazio in a bad way.
Yeah, what to do, this kind of
Life.
things
Yes.
it's life, it's out of our hands as well. So sometimes, like Baggio's experience at Inter with Lippi, it didn't turn out well. That's an example, a very good example. It mirrors what happened between Eriksen and Signori as well.
And I actually love Baggio more, after reading that Lippi wanted him to be his spy, that kind of thing, and he rejected him. Wow, I was like, wow, Baggio, admirable.
Yeah, and he stuck on, and then he got us into the Champions League and then left.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
He joined Brescia after that, right?
Yeah, correct. That's where he ended his career, in Brescia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on these books, tell us what inspired you to write these books.
I think I was inspired to share my adventure, to share my passion with fellow Singaporeans, with fellow football fans. I want to tell people that basically being a football fan is not just watching football in front of TV, in your couch. It has to be lived in the stands, in the stadium. That should be the way. And then there's no better way to share my passion than in a book. And hence I wrote the book.
I think anyone who reads the book, you would identify with that passion. That passion comes through the book, and I think you should read this book. If you're a football fan and you love your club, it doesn't matter which club you support. In fact, you should read this book. It offers you a different insight as a fan, because I believe there's always different ways of experiencing the game. I might experience it differently from you, and obviously this is one way that Nigel has experienced it. It's his perspective, his point of view, and for the club that he supports, it's they have a certain kind of rivalry. He's respected that rivalry all throughout, and you can feel that intensity as well in that rivalry between Lazio and Roma throughout the book. It's unmistakable. It's unescapable. So I would encourage everyone, get this book, read it. You will not be disappointed.
Thank you.
Yeah. welcome. Heartfelt, because I genuinely believe it is a really good book.
Thank you very much again.
And yes, now I'm going to ask you one question. Might be a bit controversial. So you see, when I posted this promo of this episode on Facebook, a question came to me about Lazio and their so-called connotations and with the fascists and the racism that has been linked with Lazio fans in the past. So how far true is this? Because Lazio has got into trouble quite a number of times for racist chantings during the games and all. I mean, that's unescapable. We've heard it and they've been punished for it. So undeniable. But how far true is it? Because in your books, you've spoken a lot about warm relations you've had with the native fans in Rome, the Italians. They've been really welcoming and open with you. You're a non-Italian and they've been really open and welcoming with you. The only time I remember you spoke about something of a racist nature is altercation with a Roma fan. That was the only time you mentioned anything racist that you encountered. So what is this all about Lazio fans being racist, and what's the truth behind it?
I think I have to agree that yes, we have fans who are racist. Lazio fans, I mean, like in every country, there are extremists. And for Lazio fans, I think we have problem with the media as well. In Italy, Corriere dello Sport or Tutto Sport, I think media are attacking us. This is one aspect. You see, there are also Inter fans, Inter Ultra group, the Inter boys, right?
Yeah.
They're also right wing, but they are not getting the kind of media attention like Lazio fans. So sometimes it's a bit unfair, I feel. You cannot just because of one small section or maybe 1,000 out of 10,000 people, you generalize that everybody is fascist. I have friends who openly tell me that they are fascists, Italian Lazio ultras. But they are the nicest people in the world. I think it's just a political ideology. They are not racist. Racism and fascism, I think they do not mix. They don't go around killing people. It's just an ideology, They basically at the stadium in Curva Nord, right? In Curva Nord is the north curved, the stand behind the goalpost is where the hardcore ultras stood. So I always go there. So basically when people see me and my banner, they come to me, they hug me, they kiss me, they say thank you for coming, that kind of thing. I mean, if they are really violent, then, I would have been stabbed. I would have been stabbed 1,000 times, trust me. So I wouldn't say no. There are racist. There are fascist fans, but racist I have no experience yet.
Can you just share the difference between being a fascist fan and a racist fan?
Fascist fans.
What is their ideology about?
Okay, this is a very deep discussion, about fascism. Fascism, I think, started from Benito Mussolini. Started from Benito Mussolini. Fascism, you're extreme right wing, you basically don't really like immigrants coming to your country, that kind of thing. Fascist, yes. And then, racism to some extent. Yes. Yeah. Racist, once Paulo Di Canio said something. He said, "I'm a fascist, not a racist."
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, he said that. So
he was one of those that he had that he gave that salute, right? The fascist salute after scoring a goal.
Okay. Yeah, they call it the Saluto Romano, means Roman salute. The Roman salute. Yeah, it's not. Some people who don't understand, they will say it's a Nazi salute. It's not a Nazi salute. It's a Saluto Romano. It's a Roman salute. It's something right wing. It's something right wing. Yes, it's something you do to your comrades or to your fellow fans. I don't do that, but I have other ways to express myself. Yeah. Where we are, sorry.
No, we were speaking a bit on fascism and racism.
Yes.
You've explained it briefly on what, because like what you say is a deep topic. So
very deep. Yes.
Yeah, briefly you've explained what fascism is all about, and there is a little racism in that as well in the ideology. But in your experience, you've not faced anything of that note, as you mentioned. Yeah,
never.
So it's a safe place to go then.
The derby can be dangerous because, especially if you're wearing a Roma shirt or a Lazio jersey, it's not advisable to wear it on derby day walking around the city. No, definitely not. You only show your colors when you're near the stadium or at the safe zone. Yeah, this is probably the most important thing I can share.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if you're a neutral? You don't support either club. You just want to go there and experience. Maybe you support Manchester United or Liverpool, two most famous clubs here. And they both wear red.
But would it be more fun to choose a pick a side?
It would be. But some people. What I'm trying to say is, what if you turn up in a red jersey, but it's not Roma? It's maybe Liverpool or Manchester United.
I think that's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine. Yes. But Liverpool have some bad blood with Roma fans,
Yeah.
recently and in the past. So, not advisable to wear Liverpool jerseys. Also, Man United with Roma.
And Roma, no, yeah. Of course, but I'm sure Man United will be loved by Lazio fans. They will welcome them with open arms.
Just wear the Singapore jersey, lah.
Yeah, good one. I wear your national team jersey, whether it's Singapore or Malaysia or whichever country.
Correct.
Represent, maybe wear your local club jersey, maybe Geylang United or JDT or Selangor or whatever, that would be good. I think that would be much appreciated.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And then, if you feel that you don't want to sit at the hardcore sections, right? Then you can always pick the grandstand where, it's more expensive, but it's pretty safe. It's pretty safe.
Yeah. Okay. So it is a safe experience going to visit Lazio. We've already determined that. Going to watch their matches, I think, is pretty safe as well.
I think any fans from Singapore, anyone who just want to go to experience the Rome Derby, you can write to me personally. I can give you the tips and everything.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Where do they write into you? Tell us.
Sorry?
Where do they write into you? How can they get in touch with you?
You can go to my Facebook page, my book page, 10,000 kilometer Perte, Perte. That's a book page. And then you can just drop me a private message. Or you can email me at spytheman11@hotmail.com, which is spytheman11@hotmail.com. You can just write me.
There you get it. You've got the links. You can always get in touch with Nigel whenever. Of course, now the borders are closed. Fans are not allowed into stadiums. Or whenever normality resumes, you want to go and catch a Lazio game in Rome. If you want to catch a Roma game in Rome, do not contact this guy. He will not attend to you. He will just disregard your message. But if it's a Lazio game, feel free, contact him. He will guide you what to do, what not to do, give you the tips on how to, behave, how to behave as well down there, and
where to eat, cheap, which hotels.
There you go. There you have it. You don't have to be, traveling first class all the time or staying 5-star all the time, So Nigel got the ins and outs of Rome to guide you. So you can always get in touch with him. And of course, when you've read the book, please feel free to drop in a feedback. Give your views on how you felt the book was. Let him know. I think it's nice, caring and sharing. Share the book around as well with others. Let others know about the book. And do read it. Again, I'm telling you, do read it. Where can they buy the book again? Give us the link to the book. Unfortunately, we've lost Nigel due to some technical issues. But anyways, we've reached the end of the show. Thank you very much for joining us in this episode 3, titled Lazio's Soaring Heights. I will be sharing the link to the book that was written by my guest today, Nigel Gan. Until we meet again, these are Nigel's final words for this episode. Bye-bye, take care, until we meet again.
Apologies for the technical problem. Basically, my phone broke down. Basically, to be a Lazio fan, you have to be strong. You have to be lion-hearted. You also need to stay close to the hospital or have a regular heart checkup because anything can happen. It's a roller coaster ride. Be ready for criticism, people asking you whether you're racist or you're fascist. But as long as you stand your ground, I think it is fine. There's no problem. I'm proud to be a Lazio fan. I'm damn proud to be one. And thank you for listening to this show. It's a lovely show. Thank you to Rasvinder. And I hope everyone can get a copy of 10,000 Kilometers for You Part 2. Thank you for the support. I do not write like Dan Brown, but one thing I can guarantee you is passion. So thank you very much. Have a good day. Forza Lazio.